UK Attorney General wages war on dark web cybercrime. The United Kingdom's Attorney General last week spoke out about how the government was applying the international cyberspace laws. Speaking at the Chatham House Royal Institute of International Affairs, Jeremy Wright said that cyberspace is an integral part of the international community and its law base. The UK had boundaries to comply with what behaviors were acceptable by the state in the cyberspace arena. In his speech that was later published in the UK government portal, Wright noted that keeping up with the world's social and technological changes is one of the greatest challenges. He therefore focused on the need for newer laws to play their roles in fostering peace, certainty, and international order. He urged that the international laws needed to keep up with the pace set forth by the modern world, because failure to do so would mean that countries would need to use local and outdated regulation standards and tactics when coming up with court rulings. This would have to include customary law and other statutes. Right now, the impact of the Internet is near universal. Even those not online themselves are using public or private sector services whose operations depend on interconnectivity via cyberspace, Wright said. He also appreciated that the world of the Internet and computers continues to revolutionize daily life. He however noted that the rapid advancement of the cyberspace world has not only made life simpler, but also increased the complexity of threats that countries face repeatedly the same. Yet, the majority of countries in the international community have until recently been reluctant to coming up and executing new cyber laws. States have a responsibility here, a responsibility to be clear about how our international law obligations bind us, he said. We have a responsibility that we must fulfill through our treaty obligations, and I believe this responsibility extends to cyberspace, he concluded. Jeremy also noted that the silence posed by the existing international laws framework with regard to cyberspace means that the platform would end up becoming a more dangerous place. The attorney added that the laws shouldn't be considered obsolete just because the targets of such regulations resent them. Instead, he believes that they shouldn't be given any chance of failing to apply the laws. He holds that there should be stricter laws for cyber activities just as there are for the real world. Cyberspace is not and must never be a lawless world, he said. Over the last 5 years, the UK has engaged the United Nations Secretary-General to come up with a multilateral agreement on the boundaries of cyber behavior. In 2013, the UN group of governmental experts in cyber technologies made an affirmation of the application of the existing international cyber laws. In 2015, the group, whose team of technocrats were drawn from several nations including China and Russia, appreciated that the UN Charter had to apply to dark web and ClearNet together in their entirety. The fundamentals of the law such as humanity, necessity, distinction, and proportionality also had to apply. Invoking the stipulations of the laws, the UK Attorney General stated that the position of the UK in regards to cyber-related activity was inspired by the need to protect people, property, and dignity in the Internet. First, Wright spoke about the need for the UK to refrain from tolerating activities per Article 2(7) of the UN Charter. Second, he spelled out that according to Article 2(4) of the same Charter, any activity that threatens the independence of the state would be treated as a crime. With a majority of cyber activity on the dark web deemed criminal, these articles are very important. Third, Wright said that the United Kingdom would invoke Article 51 of the Charter against any cyber operations that would result in someone's death, destruction of property or any armed attack. In this case, any business or activity on the Internet or technological world that would result into the death or injury of a citizen would call for the country's self-defense and other harsh measures. This includes hacking public systems with malicious intentions and the selling of illegal items on the dark web. This is not limited to drugs, weapons, or child porn sold on darknet marketplace sites, but anything that is illegal. The fact that the act is carried out by way of a cyber operation does not prevent it from being viewed as an unlawful use of force or an armed attack against us, he added. Speaking about the darknet, he said that the greatest challenge to law enforcers is finding out who exactly is involved. The lawyer revealed that it was impossible to take any legal action against a hostile cyber activity if the individuals behind it are unknown. He noted that the Law Commission's articles on state responsibility are clear about the conduct of member states towards wrongful acts of individuals on any platform. These principles must be adapted and applied to a densely technical world of electronic signatures, hard-to-trace networks and the dark web, said the Attorney General. Jeremy Wright concluded that the Chatham House Royal Institute of International Affairs would not relent from putting a name to the illegal cyber activities that happened. He said they were obligated to name the individual suspects and criminals by any means necessary. He gave examples of the WannaCry ransomware that affected several countries across the world including the UK. There were over 150 countries hit by the cyber attack and 48 National Health Service trusts in the UK. He said that the government found out and attributed the attack to North Korea in 2017. Again, he pointed out that the NotPetya cyber attack against the Ukrainian government departments was attributed to the Russian military. The UK government has already set aside £1.9 billion sterling to maintain cyber security in the country. This money will be used by the National Cyber Security Strategy through the National Cyber Security Centre to protect the UK's interests from all dangerous dark web activities.